Hello everybody, welcome to this special presentation. Today we're Monday, November 25th, and we have the pleasure to host Mr. David Grondin, CEO of TomaGold. Mr. Grondin, thank you for coming back.
Thank you for having me today.
Excellent. So a lot of good news coming from your company.
Yes.
We know you signed an agreement with IAMGold, but before talking with IAMGold, in the first interview you mentioned you had a partner with was Quinto.
Yes.
So let's make an update on that. What's going on with this agreement with Quinto, and how this new partnership with IAMGold is going to impact the partnership you already have with Quinto?
Well, but there's no more agreement with Quinto.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
in short,
Okay.
but in just more detail, it's basically after the good grades that we had released, in the past few months, in the last 6 months after the winter drilling campaign, it was becoming really difficult for both of us to get finance. It was kind of a conundrum between, how can Quinto can finance, and if they finance, will they get all the interest in the project? If not, well, they invested and they lose the money. And on my hand, they were looking at Toma and saying, okay, so you don't have the project anymore, which wasn't true because the $10 million to be spent wasn't done yet.
Okay.
So catch-22,
Okay.
if I can use the expression. So catch-22, so it was really difficult for board company to operate in in a junior depressive market.
Yeah.
When the market is booming, that's a completely different story. Or when one of both stock is thriving, everything is fine too. When we signed the agreement, Quinto was fine, had cash in the bank, it was good. They just had a breakup fee, had a few $1 million in tradable asset, but then the liquidity dry up like for everybody else.
Yeah.
So they could not liquidate their asset, they could not raise money. It was difficult for us. So early June, we announced our intention of breaking up. We announced the preliminary deal.
Okay.
It was concluded at the end of the summer, which basically gave 10% of undivided interest in the claims to Quinto. And we assumed the convertible debt that they had, $500,000. That's it. That's all.
Okay.
That's it. So they go back to do what they want to do. I go back developing Monster.
Okay.
Following that agreement,
Yeah.
the phone rang. It was IAMGold.
Okay.
So they decided, because they saw that we walked out of that deal, they asked us if we can sit down and start talking, which we did, and took us a few months to hammer that deal out, and it went pretty well.
But what are the implications of that deal in terms of money, in terms of the control that TomaGold now has over the project? What are the implications of that?
Well, it's a big endorsement on the project first. It's $16 million in work that IAMGold needs to spend on the project.
So not TomaGold, just
IAMGold.
Okay.
IAMGold will invest $16 million over 5 years on the project, and they also need to make $1,575,000 in cash contribution, which basically will provide liquidity to TomaGold without dilution.
Okay.
And this is really important. You're avoiding dilution. 16 million at market price will be 160 something million share, plus the cash payment. It's huge. So in this situation, you have a major that believes in the area and the projects specifically, and decided to commit close to $17.5 million of the exploration budget.
Okay.
And everybody knows that most of the major right now are cutting back on their costs, development. So they're trying to find new, alternative, high prospect project. I think I'm not in their head. I'm not sitting on their board, but they maybe try to move into safest jurisdiction like Quebec, Canada, Northern America. I would say that Monster Lake present a really high potential for high grade development.
Okay.
That's what we have always said, and I'll keep saying that. There's a lot of potential in the whole general area. That's why we decided to buy Cookie Monster, Little Monster, and sign an earning option with Mergor for 2 other projects.
But those projects you just bought, like is the $60 million IAMGold they tend to spend, are they going to be?
No.
No.
The only project that are concerned with IAMGold is Monster Lake.
Monster Lake, okay.
And the north and south extension, which are called Lac à l'Eau Jaune and Winchester.
Okay, and Winchester was the portion where you found the deformation zone that had the highest discovery potential, right? That's what you said in the last interview.
Monster was really the project that was the lead project. Winchester was the new up and comer. It was the next best target that we had in sight.
Okay.
It was there was a project where a lot of potential was huge. The system is massive. It was really little drilled in the past, not much, like 3,000 meters ish approximately. So we just added 18,000 last summer, We had one good hole, and the rest was like average Winchester, which is didn't bring much to the knowledge.
Okay.
It was kind of the same geostratigraphy and everything. So we're like, okay, so we need to go back to the drawing board and see what we can find out. So, but I Am Gold came in. I said, we'd like to have a look at this and find out if you have an interest of working with us.
Okay.
And we said yes.
In terms of, because as you said, it's a depressive market for some junior companies. They have a lot of problems with raising money to drill and explore and unlock the potential of their project. What direction does TomaGold intend to take? Do you intend to actually use only your model to define your resources, or through drilling campaigns with massive, which has a higher burn rate, of course, if you follow by using the drilling campaigns?
Well, what we've tried to do, and what we would like to do, and what we'll try to continue to do, it's in the past we've been, I would say, lucky, because you need to have a little bit of luck in exploration, to have some good grades and good, discovery that can generate the intention of for financing. So if you can, on a significant basis, continue that process of drilling, more development for the project, and then you can move it to the next step. You have no problem of being aggressive.
Okay.
It's just that if you strike out 3 times in a row, well, it's tough to be aggressive because people are saying, oh, well, the stuff you're drilling is not good. So in the case we're looking at right now, I Am Gold will spend $2 million this year, $2.5 million year 2 and 3, and then 3.5 and 5.5. On our hand, because I bought Cooking Little and Fan Camp and Emery, we will do our own development project.
Okay.
Because these are like Cooking Little, which is really east to Monster Lake. They are all contiguous claim.
Okay.
So these 2 projects are more grassroots.
Okay.
But we have some knowledge. The geophysics is done. There's been some PP and all this thing, but not much drilling.
Okay.
So we're doing drilling right now. We don't expect to have like high grade because it's the preliminary drilling phase. So just to understand, see the structure, we're not going like at 500 meters. It's just to intersect the minimization, to see how everything is positioning itself in space. And then we'll develop from there. On Fan Cam, though, it's different. There's been a lot of stripping. There's 2 exploration ramp, and there's been some stripping, drilling. So we'll try to continue to develop the model that was in place while we're taking possession of the project.
Okay.
So we need to do this. I don't want to be tributary to somebody else's commitment. We
Okay.
want to be able to I want to be able to be on the road, say, we have new things. We have something new to talk about. This is what we've learned.
Okay.
If I go silent for 18 months,
Yeah.
I will not be here in 19 months for another interview because there will be nothing new to talk about.
Okay, so I understand. But in terms of I Am Gold, which has now the Monster Lake project, they will spend, so TomaGold will not have anything to do with it? So you almost like sell them the project almost?
Well, we will have exploration committee where we discuss target, exploration work, commitment, what we need to do, how we need to direct the project. But I Am Gold is the manager of the project now.
Okay.
Which is okay. I Am Gold is 2.6 billion market cap. Human expertise, technical expertise, a lot of knowledge, really brand people. TomaGold, we're really good, I would say, but we're not even close as brain power.
Okay.
So you have a small team versus a very large team.
Okay. So if I understand right, you have not fell in love with Monster Lake. So if I Am Gold discovers that Monster Lake has a huge potential, they want to acquire it fully, TomaGold will not be like, because you're playing with a big boy now.
You always need to be careful when you're dealing with somebody that is really significantly larger than you, because at the end of the day we'll end up 50-50.
Okay.
So after that, they have 50%, I want 50%. So we'll sit down together and they will say, okay, so what's next step? A $20 million work campaign. So I need to show up with my 10 and they need to show up with their 10, and then we go work.
Okay.
If I don't, I can be diluted.
Okay.
But if you do the math, to get pushed out, they will need to spend a few hundreds of million dollars to push me out of the JV, which is, it's a good transaction for Toma. It de-risks the company, put a lot of money in the work commitment. I love the project, but my background is financial, so the trick is always saying don't fall in love with the stock. So the project is good. If a good offer, let's say it's 50-50, and they say, hey, want to buy the whole thing, put the price on it, and we'll see.
Okay.
You never know.
Yeah. You're right. Now, your current burn rate actually, how much is it right now?
Right now it's low since we don't have to assume all the exploration. Yes, right now we're doing one until the end of December.
Yeah.
But after that, we've cut back on most of the thing. The only thing we maintain is some of the marketing campaign that we have in place. So right now the burn rate is approximately 35-40 grand a month.
Okay. And in terms of the funds that you have currently in your bank account, how much do you...
Close to $1 million.
Close to $1 million.
Hard cash, no flow through.
No flow through, okay.
We have not raised any flow through this year. It's only hard cash.
Okay.
So, but for your investor, because I know they understand the big difference between flow through and hard cash, there won't be some massive tax selling because of that specific reason.
Okay. And in terms of the next step, what are the next steps now for TomaGold? It's in an agreement with TomaGold now. So what are the next steps? What can we wait for? What might fuel the momentum to make the stock?
Well, we will have some announcement coming from the work campaign we're doing ourselves. You can expect something coming out of the next work phase with TomaGold.
Okay.
We've been really aggressive to find new opportunity. We've been able to prove the market we can raise money with the proper project or deal that can come our way. I will have no reservation about doing a takeover or buy another asset and try to leverage that asset with the partnership I have with TomaGold.
Okay.
You know, because I don't have to work myself the project or spend money on it. So for me, it's a burden I don't have. But if I can get another class of asset in gold or silver, I will consider both asset, precious metal. It's something I will go for it.
So if I understand right, you might turn the company into a project consolidator.
Yes, but really specific. Like it needs to be like a safe jurisdiction, good reserve, good potential. I will tend to target higher grade. If it's not, it will be the tonnage will be proven or near proven category. So that's the type of thing I will look at. We've been looking at a lot of opportunities, like everybody else. Everybody is like in a really bad situation right now. The market cap are low. People cannot get finance. So I'm looking at every opportunity available to create plus value. To have a 1 + 1 = 3, not +1 = 2.
Okay.
So if I can have that, I will be good.
Excellent. So, Mr. Grondin, thank you for coming by. I don't know, like, if you have one last word to say to skeptical investors looking at your company and why he's not convinced yet. What would you tell them if you have two things to convince him that your stock is the one to have in his portfolio? You
don't come across a partnership with a major every day that will spend most of the money on your project. So you should always consider how you can de-risk your investment in a junior. It's when you have a major that will spend the money for you and create a consistent news flow in the future. So I think that's how you can leverage most of your investment in the junior market.
Excellent. So we look forward to see you back.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you very much. Thanks.